Okay, today we're going to go over how to get the fixed cost, variable cost, total cost, the average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost, plus the marginal cost of an additional unit using a cost function. Quadratic cost function equation is essentially the cost times the quantity equals a number plus a number times a quantity plus a number times a quantity raised to a power. By looking at this equation, you should be able to find the total cost, the fixed cost, and the variable cost. Since the fixed cost is not dependent upon a quantity, it's going to be our portion that is A. That's just a number, not times a quantity. It's always going to be that. It doesn't matter how much the quantity changes, it goes up or it goes down or whatnot, it's always going to be that A portion. Since our variable cost does change with the quantity, the blue portion in the equation, the B times Q plus C times Q raised to a power, that's going to be our variable cost. What you would do is you would plug in the quantity into the Q and then solve. You'll be given all the other numbers usually. Since our formula for total cost is the fixed cost plus the variable cost, this whole equation is basically our total cost. So you would add the fixed and the variable together, and then that would give you your total cost. Okay, here we have a sample problem where we already have our variables in there. And I told you in the question that we're producing at 4 units. So in order to find our fixed cost, our variable cost, and our total cost, we're going to plug in that quantity of 4 units into each of the 3 different things that we want to solve for. Since we know that our fixed cost is just the number that's by itself, that is not multiplied by a quantity, then we should know that the 80 is our fixed cost. The variable cost is the portion of the equation that is multiplied by a quantity. So our variable cost is equal to 10 times 4 plus 6 times 4 raised to the second power. And this equals out to be 136. To find our total cost, we'll just put in the 80 plus the 136, and then that gives us 216 as our total cost for producing the 4 units. When working with the cost function equation, one of the things that you can be asked for is your average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost. Basically what this tells you is how much of the fixed cost, the variable cost, and the total cost are attributed to each unit. When solving for any averages, what you're going to do is take the quantity and divide that by your fixed cost. For example, the average fixed cost equals 80 divided by 4, which is our quantity, giving us a total of $20 for each unit that goes towards fixed cost. Same goes for whenever you're finding the average variable cost. You're going to plug in the quantity, find your variable cost, and then divide it by the quantity that you're producing at, which is 4 in our case. That gives us the 136. Divided by our quantity of 4, giving us $34 that each unit pays towards variable cost. Then if we wanted to find our average total cost, we would add both of those things together, which was our 216, and then divide that by the quantity of 4 again. This gives us an average total cost of $54 for each unit. By knowing the average total cost, we should know that this is the minimal price that we will accept, $54 per unit, since each unit costs us $54 to make when we're producing at a quantity of 4. In the business world, you might be faced with a situation where you may need to know if you should hire an additional worker or if you should make that next unit. And you would find these things out by working at the margin. So we're going to look at how to find the marginal cost of producing that next unit, which is our 5th unit in this case. So the formula for finding marginal cost is the change in the cost over the change in the quantity. What we're going to do to find out if this fifth unit should be produced is compare what our total cost was from producing 4 units and our total cost from producing 5 units. We've already went ahead and done what our total cost was for producing the 4 units, and that was 216. So now we're going to plug in the quantity of 5 into our cost equation, and that's going to give us the 280. So now, since we have these total cost numbers, we can go ahead and plug those into the marginal cost equation. That gives us 280 minus 216 over the change in the quantity, which is 5 minus 4. So this gives us 64 over 1, equaling out to be $64 per unit is our marginal cost. Since it's stated that our selling price is $72, we would go ahead and produce that fifth unit because it's under the $72. This fifth unit is still yielding us $8 in revenues. I hope this video has been helpful in helping you find the fixed cost, variable cost, total cost, the averages of all of them, and the marginal cost using a cost function equation.